Freedom family, freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom fighters, all that good shit. How y'all doing this morning? It is 11:00. Well, it's 12. This damn time jump. Oh my god, that shit get on my nerves. This damn spring forward crap is for the fucking birds. All right, it should be 11:05, but it shows 12:05. Shot killings was good. Now this is just gonna be a quick live stream because, I had to respond to this bit of commentary in a live stream that Six the Goddis did. That's right, Snapzilla Gorilla. What's good? Six the Goddis is a content creator on YouTube who is essentially how can I put her? She's a young lady who believes in basically women being in their femininity, men being in their masculinity, and all those type of things. Men have their roles, women have their roles, that type of shit. She's very intelligent and she's on point with a lot of stuff, right? She does not believe in this modern era of womanhood where, women are just going around doing what they feel they want to do, and then when they hit the wall, they decide they want something different for their life. She's really about uplifting people within the role that they're supposed to be in, basically. She gives a lot of advice to women about being in their feminine, looking good, being healthy, and all that good stuff. And she has a lot of great insight on relationships and the roles men and women play in relationships. She's well on point. There are a lot of things that I don't agree with. Well, not a lot, actually. There's not a lot of things I don't agree with. I agree with most of the things she says. And for her age, I think she has a lot of wisdom, right? But there's one thing I wanted to push back on, and I wanted to do this live stream to talk about it, not just to respond to what she said, but to explain something, right? To explain something, right? It's in the title. What peace does a man seek from a woman that he is going to be with? What type of peace does a man want from a woman? And, she seems to be a little confused about what men want from women in terms of peace, because what she said, I've never heard a man say the things she said in relation to receiving peace from a woman. Please hit the like button when you come up in the building. She talked about if a man tells you that he wants peace, he doesn't want peace. I don't know how she gets that. And then she talks about, stroking egos and, begging for commitment. That's not what we mean by peace. We're not expecting anything from a woman that we're not committed to, number one. So if we're with a woman and she doesn't know if we're committed yet, well, that means we're not committed. We're not committed to a woman who has to beg for our commitment. A woman that has to beg for our commitment hasn't received our commitment yet. If a woman has our commitment, she's essentially going to know that we're committed. And so we're not expecting peace from a woman that we're not yet committed to. That's number one. And receiving peace from a woman has nothing to do with getting our ego stroked. It has nothing to do with begging. I don't get that. I don't get why she says that. One other time she mentioned something about, she seems to be against the idea that women can bring peace to men. And she mentioned something about a woman being on Instagram being half butt naked. That if they don't do that, then we're not bringing, there's no peace in that. That has nothing to do with the peace we want. Men are very simple. We don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, some men aren't going to accept a woman who is on Instagram flaunting everything she got for every man to see. And he's just not going to deal with that on to a certain capacity, right? Whereas, but that has nothing to do with, it doesn't bring him peace to know that she's not doing that. That's not what it is. Is what it is he doesn't want every man out there knowing what she got, knowing what he got. Golden's dancer was good. Well, and then she talked about that in the live stream, and I'm like, what? That's not what we mean by bringing peace, right? If you want to be with the man of a certain caliber, right? If you want to be with a man of a certain caliber, and he doesn't want you on Instagram doing all that, showing your ass and walking around half butt naked, then he's not going to be with you, right? If you're not willing to take a step back from that, he's not going to be with you. So you won't have to bring no peace to that man, because that man won't be with you, right? If he has any level of self-respect and he is stern and strong within his convictions, he's not going to be with the woman out of hand. So if he met you and you was on Instagram flaunting this and that and the third, he is not going to commit to you. So there won't be any peace that you can bring to him, because he's not going to mess with you like that. He's going to be like, all right, if you're going to be with me, you're going to have to dial it back on social media a little bit. And if you say no, then that's fine. Y'all don't have to be together. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? Let me explain to you the peace we want. All right. It has nothing to do with stroking egos. It has nothing to do with begging for commitment. Because at that point, you don't have the man. You don't have the man to that degree. If you have to have a discussion and an argument about what you can and can't do on Instagram, he's not going to commit to you. He's going to be like, all right, you going to do that? Then I'm going to put you in this category over here. Some men don't care. Some men don't care if their woman is out there. It just depends on what that man wants. And so that's what it is. My wife, when I took her off the market, when we took each other off the market, Instagram wasn't popping like that. So she wasn't never really on Instagram like that. She's on Instagram now, but she does a lot of family shit. She's not out there shaking her ass and all that other shit. And so that was never an issue for us. It wouldn't even be if they probably wouldn't even consider, they'd bang them. Yeah, you'd be a nice little, some men don't care. Some men will accept that. Some men won't even bring it up. They'll be like, well, I met her like that, and I want to be with her, and I want to have children with her and build a family, then this is what I got to deal with. But if he wants a commitment, he's not going to go to you for that commitment, because you're on Instagram doing all this, that, and the third. He don't know what you're doing. You getting flued out everywhere, traveling here, going to Dubai, and all this other shit. And you're a waitress. Like, how are you doing this? He's going to have that in his mind. He's not going to, any man worth his salt is not going to ask for peace by getting you to get off Instagram. Number one. Number two, begging for commitment, not begging for commitment. I don't get that. Like, stroking the ego. No, peace is not about getting your ego stroked. That's not what it's about. That's a whole separate category of shit. Getting your ego stroked is separate from getting peace from a woman. Yes, men want their ego stroked. And if you're not willing and capable of stroking thy ego to a certain degree, then he won't fuck with you. Because he's going to be like, well, you're not into me like that. Why you're not, you know what I'm saying? Men, we want our ego stroked. Whether it's, and it should be genuine. Just because if a woman strokes your ego, it makes you feel good about yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Especially if she's genuine, especially if she means what she's saying, then guess what? Go ahead and stroke the ego all you want. You should be stroking your husband's ego. You should be stroking your man's ego. When he goes out there and makes that bacon, brings home that bacon, and provides security and protection and provision for you, you should stroke that ego. Absolutely. Just like a man who has a wife who is taking care of business at home, making sure the kids are fed, the house is clean. You know what I'm saying? That you're being a soundboard for that man. You're providing inspiration. You beautiful. You best believe you want to hear compliments, right? I don't get this shit. I don't get what she means. All that IG prostitution is a form of desperation for one thing or another, money. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. And so, yeah, stroking the ego. Yeah, you should be stroking the ego, but that has nothing to do with peace. And saying a man who says that they want peace from a woman doesn't really want peace, that's complete and utter nonsense. That doesn't make any sense either, right? Yeah, a lot of people say they want shit that they really don't want, but that's not one of the things, okay? And she said men are supposed to provide peace. Well, men, listen, the quality man that these women want, it's not even a question whether he brings peace or not, because he's not looking to be combative with his wife. He's not looking to compete and get into arguments and fights and all that shit with his wife. He's already so if he's providing protection and provisions, a house over their head, food, you know what I'm saying? All the ammunition and firearms, and he's a willing and capable warrior and fighter, and he knows how to get down, she's going to feel peace. What are you talking about? Just a man saying that he wants peace does not mean that he doesn't want a woman to bring peace. You know what I'm saying? A man saying, oh, I want peace from a woman doesn't mean that he's not providing peace to that woman. That just means that he wants that goddamn woman to bring him peace too. And what does that mean? That means that so look, men go out here in the workforce, right? And we have to compete with other men. And I, for one, in the industry that I work in, I'm an electrician in the construction field. I am a electrical superintendent, right? Electrical superintendent. That means I supervise a lot of electricians that work out in the field. I started out as an apprentice electrician. That means I had to put my tools on and I had to learn the trade. Then I became a journeyman electrician. And in order to keep working, in order to have steady work and provide, I had to compete with other electricians. I had to put in the work. And then becoming a supervisor, I had to compete even more. I had to compete with hundreds of other candidates to become a supervisor. And then I had to compete with other supervisors on the job site to do the best work, to maintain my position so I can keep bringing in that bread. So we have to compete with men out in the workforce every day. And then we got to compete with, and black men in particular had to compete with the world's perception of us. We were at war when we step out of the house every day. Men are at war. We are at war to maintain, to get these provisions that you want, that we are providing. We are at war, okay? We are getting it cracking. We are out here being producers. In order to be a producer, you have to compete. So what is the peace that we want when we come home? We want to come home. We don't want to hear no bickering. We don't want to hear no complaining and nagging and arguing and all that other shit. We don't, you know what I mean? We want to come home to a soft, nurturing woman that will take our jackets off, rub our feet, make sure we have a nice warm meal. You know, we want our children to give us big hugs when we come home. We want the house to be clean so that when we come home, we're not like, oh, fuck, what is this on the floor? What is that over here? What is this over there? What is that? Because we want to come home and decompress. We want to relax because we're working 10 to 12 to 16 hours a day sometimes. In a few days, in a couple weeks, I'm going to have to work 7 12s. 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. I'm going to have to go do that. I'm going to have to do it on a construction site with loud shit going on all everywhere. I'm going to have to walk around. I'm going to have to do this. I have 100 things that I have to do. And the shit has to be right. I have to get in mad early. I had to get in before everybody else because I'm a supervisor. So we had to have meetings before the guys show up to put in the shit. So you think after all that, and then all day, I have to see what they're producing. I got to make sure guys are safe. I got to make sure guys aren't falling off ladders. I got to make sure people aren't tripping and all that other shit. Make sure that these scissor lifts and boom lifts aren't damaging property. There's a lot of shit to keep up with. We got to make sure guys get home safe every day, because if they don't, whose responsibility is it? So do you think when I come home, I want to come home to a hot ass mess, a wife bugging me about shit, and children yelling and screaming and fighting and all the other shit? No, we want to come home to peace. Because guess what? That peace that you said that we are supposed to provide a woman, we're doing that. We're doing that. When that wife is secure and those children are secure within the home, they are within the peace that I provided. They don't have to worry about where the next meal is coming from. They don't have to worry about, because I provided them a nice neighborhood to live in, with a neighborhood watch and neighbors are looking out for each other while I'm away. And my wife is trained with firearms and with a little bit of hand-to-hand combat. So she has the peace of knowing that my husband ensured that I know how to use this gun while he's away. If an intruder comes in the house, I have security for the house. I got cameras. I got a motherfucking security system. I got a dog, a good breed of dog that is bred to protect families and look out for children. So all these things that I provided is peace. It brings peace to my family. All the storable food supplies that I got, all the freedom seeds that I got, all the water filtration systems that I have. A refrigerator full of food. Three refrigerators full of food, and soon to be a deep freezer full of goddamn beef. Months and months worth of beef that my family can eat off of. While I'm in some goddamn hobble in Georgia, and I get to see my family once a week. And soon I'm not gonna be able to see them for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. And when I come home, you think I want to be bombarded with a bunch of nonsense? No. That peace I provided you, that security I provided you, guess what? I want that to translate to me when I get the fuck home. That's the peace we want. Not a goddamn ego stroke. Not a goddamn Instagram picture. No, we don't give. No. Because a man that's about his shit, a provider protector male, a provider protecting man. Listen, we ain't concerned about no ego strokes right about now. Let me see what y'all talking about. Man, that sucks you have to be away from. Exactly. And don't forget, sometimes it takes a piece to bring exactly. Us black women have to provide a structured, loving home and go to work and be above average to accelerate. Yeah, that's true, Golden Dancer. And a lot of women have to work these days. Wait, so you like the dad from 227? I don't know, you were in construction. Yeah, I'm in construction. Yep. Good brunch time. Yeah, we are equally at war. Black women. Yeah. Well, yeah, black women are at war. It just so happens my wife does not have to work. My wife is not working. I mean, she's doing real estate right now, but she doesn't even have to do that. My wife hasn't had to work for 13 years. So you know what I mean? But even if a woman is working, and she's coming home after 8 hours a day, or whatever the case may be, shit still has to get done, right? And at that point, the man can step up a little bit more too and help do stuff around the house. But it can still be peace. He can still bring her peace. She can still bring him peace by not badgering him about shit and getting on his head about a little trivial shit and arguing and all this other stuff. You know, we want to come home to softness. You know what I'm saying? That's what peace we want. The peace what you're talking, what Six the Goddis is talking about I don't even, ego stroking and all this. Men are supposed to bring peace. Men do bring peace. If you have the right man, he's already bringing you peace. He's bringing you peace by providing, protecting, and giving you a level of feeling. If a man is making you feel safe when you're with him, then he's bringing you peace. A man wants to feel calm, okay? The peace that we want is calm, nice, a good atmosphere, because we thrive in the chaos out there in the world. We thrive in the chaos, but we want to come home to no chaos, right? And it's not gonna be perfect every time. You're not always gonna have, you're not always gonna be getting rid of chaos, right? You're gonna have chaos at the house too sometimes because shit happens, right? That's understood. But the key is when that chaos does happen, that neither party, including the man, doesn't bring further chaos and piling on top of it. Is that everybody keeps a cool, calm head when there is chaos at the house, so that shit can be resolved, right? Not, all the finger pointing and nagging and this, that, and the third. You ain't did this and why you doing that and woo 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 and what that bitch is and whose number's that and who you fucked today and all that silly shit. It's just not necessary. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about no goddamn. We're not talking about what you're doing on Instagram. Honestly, because if a man is secure in his relationship, he's not gonna care what you're wearing on Instagram. Again, because if he has a problem with what you're doing on Instagram before he made a commitment, and he brings it to you, and you say, "Nah, fuck that," then guess what? He's gonna say, "Well, fuck you. I'm moving on." So you're not gonna even have to bring him any peace. He's gonna say, but if he didn't have a problem with it to begin with, he's not going to suddenly have a problem with it later on down the road. And if he does have an issue and he think you went a little too far, I would think that you would have the respect for him to say, you know what? You right. Let me dial it back a little bit. I don't need to wear shorts, that are showing half my ass cheek. You right. I'm your wife. I mean, what's wrong with that? But that's not about peace. That's about respect. That's about respecting the relationship and respecting your husband. That's not about peace. Now, when it does become about peace is when, you get people in your DMs and then, like say you're popular on Instagram and a dude sees you out and he knows you're shaking your ass and all this shit and he thinks that you easy and all that other shit, then that might bring problems. You understand what I'm saying? There's a reason that some men don't want you on Instagram like that. But I would think that you'd have the respect for a man that you're with to kind of dial it back on Instagram if that's what he wants you to do. If you wasn't doing it before and he didn't have, and it wasn't an issue, and then later on you decide to start doing it, and then he said, "Hey man, what's this bullshit you do on Instagram? I don't like that shit. You need to dial that back a little bit." You should have the respect to say, "Okay, all right, baby, I got you." Because what, you want me to start being shirtless and flexing on Instagram and you know what I'm saying, all that other shit, and then my DM filling up? Is that what you want? You wouldn't want that. So it's about respect. Let me see what y'all. Sunshine says, unfortunately, there are a lot of men that want credit as if they are a man, such as yourself, but they aren't, and there are women that want credit like they're. Yeah, that's true. Those are facts. Here's the problem. There are a lot of people out here claiming to be of the foundation that you and your wife represent, but they are lying. Unfortunately, most of our women are having to do it all. That's true. Black Spring with Autumn was good. I've been married for 25 years. We still love each other. That's what's up, Golden's Dancer. Man, yeah. Golden then said, I'm glad I wasn't brought up with the internet because I don't post pics, period. And my husband doesn't do. That's what's up. That's what's up, Golden Dancer. That's what's up. You know, I mean, because it can bring problems. Uh, I wasn't on Instagram. I wasn't on social media either until my wife she kind of forced me to do it when we had our first child, and I didn't really want to do it. I was like, man, I don't want no Facebook. What is that? But she was on Facebook, but she never really, she would, when she went to Miami and all the other shit, when she was before we got together and all that other shit, she had pictures of her in a bikini on a boat and all that other shit, but it wasn't like she wasn't like bent over shaking her ass and all that type of shit, and but when we got together, that shit stopped. Like even little, when we got together and we started having children and started being committed, her posts on Instagram and Facebook were about family. It wasn't about showing some ass and some leg and putting her titties up and twerking. It wasn't about that. So anyway, yeah. But yeah, I was never on Instagram. Like I was never on Facebook and Instagram before I got with my wife. Many of us have deep-rooted mental, social, and spiritual darkness and are complete denial of their faults and that flat-out lie about who they truly are. That is true. That is true. People do be lying about who they are. They put on a front because a lot of these people, they have an image to uphold, and a lot of these people, they are, they fancy themselves as gurus, and like let's say the people in the manosphere, the dudes in the manosphere who don't really have relations, never been in a really committed relationship, never been married, don't have children. They tend to act like they are gurus and know what you're supposed to do when you're married. But the thing is this, leaders lead by example, right? They lead by example. They don't talk about shit they don't know about and all that other shit. Gurus, yeah. Like, people who, like experts, right? But, people have to keep up an image. And people are sometimes inconsistent in their messages, And that's like, if people are inconsistent in their messages on a consistent basis, like they're contradictory sometimes, I kind of like look at them like, But at the same time, there are a lot of nuances to things, so I don't like to rush to judgment. But Six the Goddess, she's sharp. It's just this particular issue I have to give her pushback because what she related to peace, what she said peace was, or what she felt like peace is to men, is completely wrong and upside down. It's not the case. So that's just where I'm at with it. And I thought this would be a good time to, like, barring what she said about it, this is what a lot of women think that men want. But there are certain things that, especially men that really know what they want and they know what their value is and they know what they have and they know what they can provide, there are certain things that men aren't going to tolerate. They're just not. And that's not about peace. It's about what they're willing to accept and what they're willing not to accept. And once they do commit to somebody, it's going to be pretty well understood that when I'm out there grinding out there in the world, I want to come home and be in a house full of love, full of love, tranquility, and people think that's delusional, but it's not delusional. All you got to do is fucking, be cool when I come home, get shit done early, get up in the morning, have a routine, have some discipline, you know what I'm saying? And it's really about discipline, because I have to have discipline. When I go to work, I have to get up at a certain time to make sure I get to work on time, right? Like, for instance, if I'm working in another fucking state, I know pretty much if I come home to visit and it's Sunday and I'm like, well, if I stay home, I can get up at 1 o'clock in the morning, right? I can get up at 1 o'clock in the morning, get back to the crib out there where I work, drop stuff off, and then get to work. I know, but in a good amount of time, I would have to leave at 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, if I know that I don't feel like doing that, I'm going to leave the night before. Like today, I'm leaving at around 4 o'clock to go back to Georgia so I can get a good night's rest so I can get up in the morning and go to work. Because I want a good night's rest. You know what I'm saying? I want to get some good sleep. And it's about discipline. Or I can chance going to bed at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning and hope that my kids aren't keeping me up. You know what I mean? And all that other shit. And I'm really not actually falling asleep until about 9, but I'm laying in bed. And then I get up at 12 or 12:30 in the morning and I'm just groggy as hell and I got to drive 4.5 hours. You know what I'm saying? So these are things I'm doing to make sure I keep shit cracking for the household. And the wife should do their part as well. You know what I'm saying? And that's what my wife does. She doesn't give me any grief. She makes sure I'm good to go. She makes sure when I come home that the house is clean. She makes sure I have a clean towel to take a shower in. She makes sure the bathroom is clean and the tub is clean so I can, all that other shit. And so in that, the TV's nice and ready so we can watch a TV together or whatever the fuck we're going to do. So that's really, that's what it's about. Oh, my husband's coming home on Friday. Let me make sure shit's straight. You make sure the house is clean throughout the week so that it's easier to, maintain. Like you're not doing it just for me, right? You're not keeping the house clean just for me. You're doing it because you want a sanitary, clean household, right? It's not just for me. But, the fact that it's done when I come home, I can relax. And you want your husband relaxed when he comes home. You want him relaxed. You don't want him uptight, tense, standoffish, cold, because that's what's going to happen if he comes home and there's laundry everywhere. You got dirty dishes all over the place, shit all over the floor and all this other shit. That's not a good, you're not going to create a good atmosphere for a happy husband that way. And you know what? It's not even about making the husband happy. It's not about making the wife happy. It's about respect. That's really all it is. Respecting what they're doing for you. That's all it is. And so and sometimes and the icing on the cake is that they're happy. Your partner is happy, or your spouse is happy because you appreciated what they have been doing by doing what you should be doing. That's really what it's all about. In that movie, the main female character was trying to erase the wide range of psychological and emotional issues the kids had by talking them to the foundation that molded her, a farm. Okay. I was watching the old movie Bustin' Loose with Richard Pryor and Cicely Tyson, and they touch on every subject in that film. The kids had all kinds of mental issues as a result of their environment. I'm curious, as does she actually have a long-term healthy relationship? Well, it was a deep-rooted mental, read that. I'm curious as to, does she actually have a long-term healthy relationship? Well, if you're talking about Six the Goddis, I think she has a boyfriend right now. I actually discovered her because she was talking about What was she talking about? She was talking about, you know, some women, you know, modern women shitting on men, you know, and she was standing up for men, basically. I forgot exactly what the video was, but check her out, Six the Goddis. She has some good videos. She has some good content, and some good takes. Six the Goddis, SIX the, and then GODDIS. She has good little content, but no, I think she has a boyfriend, but you know, she has a child from a previous relationship, and she was a single mother for a while, so she's not married or anything, if that's what you're asking. But hey, you know, that doesn't mean that she doesn't have any wisdom. It's just, I can tell that, you know, she probably hasn't been in a long-term relationship, because she doesn't understand what peace is to a man. If that's what she thinks peace is, that's not what it is. Matter of fact, hold on. I could probably play it, what she said. Let me go to, I'm gonna play exactly what she said, so I'm not, hold on. Let me see here. All right.
When you hear men say, I want peace, that's the number one sign of a man who don't want peace. A man should never look to a woman for...
All right, here we go.
When you hear men say, I want peace, that's the number one sign of a man who don't want peace. A man should never look to a woman for peace. A man brings peace. He doesn't seek peace. So when you hear men say, I want peace, translation, I want my ego stroked by a woman begging me for commitment and begging me to see her and begging me to call her. And they'll sit and act like, no, man, you always sweating me, but deep down, he loves it. A man gonna do what he wanna do. You know, all this trying to force certain actions on your behalf to make him do this. Child, I'm gonna be so real with you. All they do is boost his ego. And he stay in a barbershop and tell his homeboy, man, bro, she called me 5 times. Nigga, she ain't gonna want me to go, but she don't even want me going nowhere. All that is an ego boost. A woman ain't never complained and manipulated her way into a man doing nothing for you. When you
did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? So look at the context. Begging for commitment, this, that, and third. She's not talking about a husband. All right. She's talking about some dude that just met some chick and they getting to know each other, I guess. I guess that's what she's talking about. But during that period, you guys are still feeling each other out and seeing if you even want to think about smelling commitment with that person. You know, and so you can't bring... That's not what when a man says he wants peace, that's not what he's talking about. He's not talking about getting his ego stroked and begging for... No, that's not what it is, man. But I just explained it. By the way, like that hat. Me too. You see, that's what I'm saying. It's about reciprocity. You see how she said a man shouldn't be seeking peace in a woman? A man brings peace, he doesn't seek peace? That's bullshit. Why would I bring peace if I'm not seeking peace? If I'm bringing peace, then I'm seeking peace. That doesn't make any sense. I provide peace in my own way, just like that my woman should be bringing her level of peace to me in her own way. It's about peace of mind. It's about, you know, I told you guys what it is. It has nothing to do with stroking egos. It's nothing to do with that. Hold on. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna read a couple more comments and I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate that, Black Spring. Thank you for sharing that out. When the movie was made, the wide range of psychological issues those kids had were not common, but now in 2023, the masses are completely saturated with foul dispositions, and now it's a norm. Yes, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. But yeah, that's what she said, right? And so I'm like, no, she got it wrong. She got it wrong. That's you're talking about people that aren't even committed to each other yet. There are no expectations for people like that. You have zero expectations. Like, you might be dating with intent, but when you're sitting up here talking about people who are begging for commitment and all this other shit, and he's going to the barber shop saying this, that, and the third. Like, a man who's secure in his relationship and committed to a woman is not even thinking about that. What he's thinking about is, oh, I can't wait to go home. I can't wait to go home to my house. I can't wait to go to my home where my wife is ready and willing to accept me and bring her calming nature to me, and my children, who they are, they're children. They have a lot of energy, and they make me laugh, and that's what we want. This shit that she talking about, even if you don't have kids, a woman who, when you come home, she has a candlelit dinner ready, and then drew your bath water, all that shit, especially if she doesn't have to work or she works from home, whatever the case may be. Anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here. Get on out of here and start getting ready to pack. Well, I'm already packed, but I gotta start loading the truck for to hit the road, so that when the time comes, I can just roll on out of here. So anyway, much love. Thank you for liking. Hopefully you share and subscribe. I appreciate you guys for coming through. And yeah, like, now, this isn't a personal attack against Six the Goddis. I got mad respect for Six the Goddis. Not sure she's in the peace vein. That's funny. Sunshine says, so Freedom, what should we do when we are surrounded by narcissistic vampires and people who want to destroy instead of build? Get away from them. Get away from them. Don't waste. Listen, we don't have time and energy to be spending on people who are stuck on stupid, right? All you can do is put out as much information as you can, and hopefully those who are receiving that will fall into place. Otherwise, you got to get away from it. If there's too many of that, if there's too much of that energy going on, you gotta get out of the situation. That's why I left California. That's one of the reasons I left California. There's too many just idiots that weren't waking up to the real shit, and I can't be surrounded by that, because if something happens, it's just it's gonna create bigger problems for you. So you just got to get out of the situation. That's all. That's the best thing that you can do. Black Spring Autumn says he doesn't want to be nagged. Exactly. He doesn't want. It's really that simple, right? When the best time to bring up shit to your husband? While he's at work, in a text message, or when he's at lunch and you call him on the phone. Yeah, you think he has a lot to deal with, but he'd rather deal with it when his mind is in that mode of solving problems and firing on all cylinders. And, I got this problem, I got that problem. Well, I got to deal with this problem that my wife is having. The fucking pipes burst. So, the washing machine ain't working. God damn it. Okay, well, let me get the warranty service to come fix that goddamn washing machine. That's the best time to do it, while he's at work. Send a text message. Hey, baby, I need you to call me at lunch. Or on the way home. On the way home is cool. Call me on the way home and you can get all your shit out. Then I can come home, I can decompress for a little bit, and then maybe the next morning I get up and I see what's going on with the washing machine, or I unclog this toilet, and whatever I got to do. Or, whatever she might be nagging about. Whatever issue she might have, she can get that out while I'm at work. That's how we get it cracking. Didn't you say they wanted $15K to move us? Hell no. No, we didn't. So what we did was we got rid of a lot of shit. We really only brought clothes and my exercise equipment, and that cost about $2,000. I spent $2,000 to move everything, and then we just bought shit over again, like whatever furniture, we just rebought it. You know what I mean? Well, I'm going live at 4:30. Yeah, I'm going live at 4:30. Talk about this clown shoe. Oh, this dude. Anyway, just as like a preview to this evening's afternoon live stream while I'm on my way back to Georgia. This fool. We're gonna talk about it. It's just he's giving me groomer vibes now. Okay, he's giving me groomer vibes. And you know, he should not have children. Yeah, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, this dude should not have children. And he's spouting a lot of dangerous BS. And you know, he likes to troll sometimes, but I feel like this shit needs to be addressed in general. But yeah, we're going to talk about other topics as well. Maybe I'll do a StreamYard so that other people come on, but we'll see about that. Yeah, I'm gonna do another live today while I'm on the road. Anyway, much love, guys. Like, share, subscribe. I'm going here and load this truck up and hang out with my kids before I get out of here. My wife is at an open house right now, so yeah. As soon as she gets back, I gotta go. You know, so I can get back at a decent time. I'm so proud, black man, like you exist. I appreciate that, Golden's Dancer. Anyway, much love, like, share, subscribe, and peace out, guys.